I'm recording. I know.
Why don't you just put it on the table in front of us?
You forget? It's been a while. Forget how to do this.
I did.
All right. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
Welcome to. I forgot. That was my part. Welcome to
Pancakes on a Wednesday.
Okay. Alrighty.
It's been a while.
It has. December. We apologize about that. It was not like, oh, we don't want to do it. It was December. Corey was at the firehouse pretty much every day, and oh my gosh, I don't even remember. It was such a blur, but there was way too much going on, and then we went on vacation.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. Yeah.
And now there's still a lot going on, but we're here.
We had to carve out time for this because it's something we like doing.
Love doing.
During our off time, though, we were able to spitball some ideas, and we had like 4 different topics we wanted to go on, and then Samantha came in here and just kiboshed all that. She's like, "Hey, why don't we do Faith Over Fear Part 2?" Because I don't know if you're watching on YouTube, then you see that we're wearing our very own Faith Over Fear shirts that you can purchase at faithOverFearArmy.com, or if you go to, there's several places you can actually get them. You can get them on mine or Samantha's Linktree on Instagram.
And happytrails-campground.com.
Yep, and then faithOverFearArmy.com. We're just gonna put out a whole bunch of content and apparel and stuff like that, because Faith Over Fear is a brand that we're going to be promoting very, very hard, because it's not just a brand, it's kind of a lifestyle. It's how we live. It is a lifestyle. 100%. It's really how we live day to day, every day. And we actually ended up on this JT Ranch and on this show with Faith Over Fear, really,
and with these shirts.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of what we kept thinking, oh, it'd be so fun to create a brand that has a message, but what do we do? And we're like, well, we're always living like faith over fear, and you gotta have faith, and let's move forward in faith. It's also one of my favorite
songs by
it is
George Michael. Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Actually,
is that why you liked it when I started singing it?
Yeah, I actually like the Limp Bizkit version of it too.
Is it screaming
from $3 bill, y'all holler?
Is that what he says in the song? Yeah. I don't remember Limp Bizkit very well.
Yeah, that's just screamo music.
90s. Well, I remember him.
90s screamo music.
I don't remember the song. But...
So today we're gonna continue on from our Faith Over Fear on that last episode and really talk about.
It's so crucial right now.
Kind of current events. We kind of wanted to stay away from that stuff, but I mean, with everything that's going on, you can't really stay away from it because it's so much in everybody's face. And
you can turn it positive. That's kind of the point of this, is don't ignore it and don't shun away from it, but you don't have to dive into all the nasty shit that's going on. What you focus on is what you enhance. So if you focus on the shit that's happening out there and relive it and share it, and there's ignorance and then there's being aware, and how can I be aware of what's going on and make it work for me? Like, we're very aware of everything that's going on, and we're living our best lives right now. And
100%.
Tony Robbins actually said the best time to create a business and start anything new is during recession, when things have completely hit the fan. Like, this is different than a recession. This is like full on.
Yeah, this is way
rock
different.
Bottom.
This is forced recession right now.
Yeah.
Everything, inflation is crazy. People losing their jobs left and right over absolute madness. And, what was this? Sean Whalen, we listened to your shit. Hope you listen to our shit. But he grew lions, not sheep, in 2020.
It started, I think, in 18.
Yeah, but 2020, when everyone was getting locked down and pushed and forced, and he was like going real fucking hard, and he had nothing nice to say about anybody who was pushing any kind of restrictions. And he really, I feel like, I mean, because even this year, he's posted a lot of stuff about hitting these numbers, and I think that's all over the last few years
Yeah.
that they've been at, and I
Yeah.
think it had a lot to
He had
do with.
I think they had their first $1 million month
Yeah,
like a month ago or something. When everyone, there's so many people, and he talks about it too, and that's I connect with him. Sometimes he's annoying, but we all are. Um, but I connect with his message because it's like, shut up and get your fucking work done. And if you want to complain during a time like this, then fucking complain. But don't get mad when your shit's broken, you're broke, and you have nothing. And there's other people out there feeding their families and still doing big shit because they're not living in fear. And that's
yeah,
the big difference. It's a consistency that you grab on to a faith that you believe in, and then you don't let it go.
yeah.
And all of
And
us,
it doesn't have, and we're not talking like biblical faith or anything like that. I
well,
mean,
if
yes and
that's
no.
what you connect
Yes and
with.
no. I'm saying that it doesn't have to be that segmented. I mean, faith is a very, very broad
Well,
term.
what I was going to say, you interrupted me. Let me just finish this thought because it is good. Grammy doesn't like it when we interrupt each other. um, but we all have something that makes our heart burn and sets our souls on fire. And most of us will be like, oh God, I'd love to do XYZ, but, and who cares what your fucking excuses are? They are excuses. There's been a million things that Corey and I have been like, oh gosh, we want to expand and do this. And if we listened to all the buts, we'd still be in Vegas with all the other complainers. Not that everyone in Vegas is complaining. We have lots of great people there, but there's a lot of people complaining all over. And we'd still be there complaining with the other complainers.
Yeah, I agree.
So you have to find what makes your heart like soar, and then you hold, that's your faith, and you continually grow that and pray for that and give gratitude in the now moment. And then on top of that, whether it's a religious faith in God or the universe, or some people, right now are so lost and they don't have faith in the universe or God. But if you can have faith in yourself, and that's something is there for you to help you feel better.
I think even if you have faith in God and all those other things, I think that you need to start with faith in yourself.
For sure, absolutely. But a lot of people connect faith to it is religious, and if that works for you, then outstanding. And if it doesn't, then outstanding. Whatever. You just have to have something that, because a lot of people, for them, God is what connects them to faith, and to who they truly are, and that's outstanding. So what we're just trying to say is, whatever gets you there, be it.
Yeah.
And live it and breathe it and hold on to that faith big time, and don't let it go, no matter what anybody says.
And sometimes people get that confused, and I'm not going to say who, but it's mostly liberals who feel like
I'm not gonna say who, but
like, this is for you, right? Like, it doesn't matter what other people are doing, and it should not matter what other people are doing. If you feel like people outside of your control have anything to do with your success or failure, you are fucking wrong. The only person that has, you're playing a victim. You're like, oh, I can't get ahead because XYZ, and that XYZ happens to be completely 100% out of your control. Everything, success is very controllable, and it starts with self-control. If you do not have the self-control to sit the fuck down and bang out some work, because in all reality, the quantum mechanics of things are what you think about, you bring about.
Right.
But you still have to work. You still have to put in work, because just because your mind, just because you have good intentions, as Samantha's baby daddy would like to say all the time,
he's a sperm donor.
Sperm donor.
Call him baby daddy. That's
you. If
good intentions
if good intentions meant anything, he'd be a good person. but he
Oh.
lacks execution. And 99.9% of the people in the world who believe that they can do big things lack execution. And then they put it on everybody else. And really what it boils down to is they're afraid of success. They're not afraid of success. They're afraid of the failures that get you to success.
Yeah, everybody fails. You fall down 800 times
Because
and
I
get
mean,
back.
this podcast started off as a blog. It was brown paper bag your way to success.
Yeah.
Was our concept in Las Vegas, and we wanted to sit on the patio and blog and do all these things.
And by the way, before Corey, I had, gosh, maybe 4 or 5 that I had done, and it just wasn't the right thing. But
You know why? I think it was he was on Joe Rogan. I can't remember his name, but he was talking about bloggers, and he said every blogger in the late 90s and early 2000s was some white liberal complaining.
that's why my blog didn't work,
'Cause
because I wasn't a white liberal complaining.
yeah,
I wasn't,
yeah.
though.
But that's why it didn't work.
Because I wasn't a white liberal complaining?
Yeah.
Oh.
Most of the blogs that were out there
Oh.
were white liberal women complaining about things they couldn't do.
Well, mine didn't, because I'd always hit a wall,
Yeah.
hit a block, and I was like,
Because blogs are hard.
I don't know what I'm doing.
So my mind works way fast. I mean, it's so fast that it's like slow. Like, like the giant and the fly. Like,
Yeah, like when he stands there, I'm like, did you hear me? And he's like processing.
I'm trying to process, and I'm trying to slow down that process so I can put it into words, because I have a hard time putting my thoughts into words all of the time. That's why I can't write. I can't write because I'll think.
But you can't write because you're saying you can't write.
No, I can't write because I'll think of the entire story, entire 300-page story, and I'll get on the first page and be like, all right, no, what was that?
But here's a good example. So I did the same thing with the blogs in the past, right? But I love to blog. I love to write. I love to share. I love to learn things. Yeah. And then it just sounded really weird to me when I said
I love
that.
to learn things.
Yeah, it sounded weird. Anyways, so I kept plugging away at, well, something will unfold. That's the faith. I knew that I had a place here, and people kept saying, why aren't you sharing? Why aren't you blogging? I'm like, I don't know. Okay, I'll try and blog. And I'm like, that's why, because I suck at it. And so there was a block there. But then Corey kept saying, oh, let's do a podcast. I was like, no, I don't want to hear my voice. That's literally, nope. I don't want a camera on me, and I don't want to hear my voice. I'm just going to write, because I can sound however I want to, and I can do what I want, but it wouldn't work. So sometimes you have this great, big, huge dream of sharing, and you think you're supposed to share on paper. And when it doesn't work over and over, you have to think, okay, maybe my shit's broken. So maybe I should try the whole voice camera thing. And doing it with Corey, like, we love it. We have so much fun. So that was my way of sticking with my faith, even though it was really confusing, and it just seemed like failure after failure.
See? And remember that the other episode, the plan is the parachute, right? Like,
yeah,
you had an end goal. Your end goal was to share your message, right? And had you continually changed what you wanted to do, maybe it wasn't share your message, maybe it was go do something else. But no, your goal was to share your message, and instead of throwing away the entire airplane and throwing away the entire parachute, you just kept respawning.
Yeah.
Until you got to the goal.
Right.
And the goal, and this is the goal, is to share our stories and anecdotes that we find.
Yeah, sorry. Find.
Yeah.
Period. You're like, that's all.
Yeah, that's all.
I read something yesterday. God's preparing you when things aren't working out in the time that you want it to. It's because God's preparing you properly for what's coming to you. So you might be wanting something astronomical, and you're like, why isn't it coming right now? Well, if you want something massively great, why would you get it today or tomorrow? Like, it's got to build. So I can't even remember.
And I think that comes from a culture of where we're are now a culture of instant
Yeah.
gratification because of all the things that you can I mean, fuck, you don't even have to go to the store to shop anymore. You could just you pull up your phone, you're like, list done. Be
Right.
here in an hour. Cool.
Yeah.
That's instant gratification.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as hard work anymore. People just
So lazy and
yeah,
take for
they
granted
think
everything.
they think that they are entitled to everything, and that's not the case. And the reason why people are going through a lot of hard times right now is because they lost that.
They don't know how to work anymore. They don't know how to do for themselves. And there's such a difference between like work in the sense that society has made work the 9 to 5 job where you have to spend. It blows my mind. I can't imagine that, like spending 8 hours. Really, you're working for 8 hours, but you got to get ready in the
Yeah,
morning, you got to drive. And it works for some people, but most people are not flipping happy. And like maybe fucking miserable is really what the better word would be. But they don't know anything any better, and they don't know any different. And I couldn't imagine, like, Corey was going to take a couple of marketing positions just because, why not? And I was like, but that's like 2 or 3 hours out of your day. And it was great money, but I was like, but that's 2 or 3 hours out of your day. That's so invaluable. What, like, all the things that we could do for our businesses in that 2 to 3 hours a day. And he was like, that's true. Like,
yeah.
start
And
investing
that
that
was
time.
that was after our last show, and that's kind of really why we haven't been putting out any content lately, is because we've been spending 2 to 3 hours every day instead of, doing a podcast or me doing things for other people's companies. We've really been building the store. It took a little while to get the shirts done because, the holidays and everything. So really the last 4 weeks, we've really invested really, really hard into the foundation of Faith Over Fear.
And who we are. Like, I've been really dialing in on how do I want to spend my time in the next 12 months? Where do I want to invest my time properly? Because there's nothing more valuable than proper time management. And where are you going to put that? Uh, I have goals with like my physique and stuff like that. And I was going to do a competition at the end of the year with the WBFF, and I've been really wanting to do that. I'm not taking it off the table, but what matters more to me is rodeo. Like, man, the my daughter's an incredible young lady, and we've gotten into barrels, which we've been training for. Speaking of something else,
Yeah.
we got horses a few years ago with the intention to run barrels. Got young horses, and also my daughter was learning how to ride. So I was training my daughter how to ride and training a horse how to be a young horse. She was 3 at the time, how to be a nice horse. All these years later, and lots of consistency and hard work and slow work and repeating
Yeah.
that. We're now going to barrel races every few weeks, and she won first in the youth 3D at her second barrel race,
Yeah.
which was
Second
very
one.
sweet.
Yeah.
And it's just the beginning. She's got a lot more to do, but that just is an example of, it would have been great to buy the horses and then go to NFR the next day, but how lame would that have been?
Yeah. It's
It
the
takes
journey. It's when when you look at these people who've done these great things, they see their great things, and we see their great things, but we don't see the hard work. We don't see the tears. We don't see the blood, and we honestly don't see the quit. Because there's uh, Samantha could attest to this, and so can I. I fought MMA for 5 years, and she ran barrels as a kid. There's times where you don't want to do it.
no.
It's really hard.
It was
It's
hard training 2 big thoroughbreds and a daughter that was like, "How do I saddle? What do I do?" At
yeah.
first, she didn't know what to do, and I was like, "Corey, I'm done. I'm done." And he's like, "No, you're not." I'm like, "Yeah, I am." "Okay, I'm not." That's crazy talk. You can have your flip out moments and feel like you're a
And how many
failure.
times did you want to sell them?
Oh my god, I
The
tried
horses.
to a couple of times because I'm just, this
Even
is so
since we
hard.
moved to Utah, you wanted to sell like 4 times. Like,
Yeah.
should I sell? No, just you need to put more time into them. Put more time into them.
And I wasn't, here's my issue is I'm a perfectionist that needs, oh my God, the horses have taught me an incredible amount of patience because I always owned quarter horses. Not that they're hugely different, but thoroughbreds are just a little bit more high energy and incredibly sensitive. So, working with them, it felt like, oh my gosh, are they learning what I'm trying to teach them? And I spent so much time and so much effort on the horses and on Scarlett and on myself over and over and over. And when you're doing the same, so seems like the same thing every day in and day out. I mean, I had a horse, my gray, she couldn't even load on the trailer. It took us 2 hours
Yeah.
when we brought her to Utah.
Oh
So
no, it took us longer than that. It
it
was
was it was rough. And
yeah.
then I spent in the rain and the wind, it was blowing and blasting around, and I spent hours and days working on getting her in the trailer and getting her out like harmoniously. Now they hop right in, and it almost seemed like it happened overnight. But there's all those days of hard work that doesn't go seen. It just looks like, oh, look, they're great horses that hop on the trailer. They're great horses that run barrels. At one point, Scarlett slipped off the barrel, and her horse compensated and went out wider so Scarlett wouldn't fall off. Like that's some quality shit right there. She has a horse that'll take care of her. And uh, all these moments, all the failures and the successes and the bittersweet times and the bonding that goes on is just so deep and so incredible that when you win a U3D first place, it's as beautiful as winning an
Mm.
FR. You just feel, so incredible. Well, I guess after years of doing this, and then when we win an FR, it's going to be pretty
Yeah.
incredible. Um, but it's the journey. It is the journey, and you don't want to win tomorrow. You don't want to get to where you're trying to be at tomorrow. You want to be grateful in the journey that you have right now, and faith. Again, there's faith is the one thing that keeps everything together. The reason why I never gave up on anything, no matter how frustrated I got at times, or I really get down on myself, and this is something I'm working on for me, is to stop getting down on myself and to start seeing how good I am at this stuff and why it's been put in my life to do as not just a hobby, but as a career and a lifestyle. And we're creating from my passion has always been horses from day as little as I can remember. My dad had horses, and that was what I loved. And there's never been a day that I've not been like, "What's your favorite thing ever?" Horses. And I have vision boards. They all have horses on them and these big dreams. And so it's the faith of knowing when I was in an apartment and I couldn't get, I was struggling. It was just me
Yeah.
and Scarlett, but I was like, we're gonna have the horses in the ranch and the whole nine and the family and all that stuff. And then all of a sudden you look around and it's like, oh, I'm here.
Yeah.
I made it from the apartment to here. So, it's that faith in my heart and my soul that brought me and my family and my daughter and these horses and our future horses, because we're just starting. Like this is just the start of a very big horse adventure, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's going to be faith, and that's why I have ultimate faith in the vision that I have. It's never wavered, never, and it never will. And it will unfold um because of consistency and a team too. Like when I wanted to give up, Corey'd be like, just breathe. Calm down, crazy lady. It's gonna be okay. And Scarlett too. It's okay, mom. We got this. We're gonna do this. And you'll have those hard moments, but for the most part, the hard moments are temporary. And
Yeah, but the hard moments are the learning,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's, I mean, because if you don't have the hard moments, then you're not pushing yourself hard enough. And those breaking through those hard moments is like, getting to the next level. It's that next stair in the ever infinite loop of stairs of progression. you know, uh, there's a motivational thing on Instagram. I saved it, I think, and the guy was like, practice makes what? practice makes what? And everyone says, practice makes perfection. He's like, no, stop thinking like that. Practice makes progression, right? And you're
I
just
like that.
consistently progressing in all things that you do. And you have to have the faith in yourself. Like I said before, if you don't initially have that faith in yourself, then you are going to let those moments where the horses get hard, the daughter gets hard headed, right? Almost come out of your seat in the middle of a race. You're going to let those moments take over you, and you're going to make emotional decisions, and you're just going to quit.
Fear-based.
Yeah, you're going to make fear-based decisions,
Yeah.
which is the emotional, and you're going to quit, and then you're going to start over and start something new, and you're always going to be chasing
something
new, and you're constantly have a hole in your heart because you don't have the faith in yourself to follow through on something.
Yeah.
And like I said before, and the plan is a parachute. If it's not for you, at least you tried. If you know in your heart 100% that barrel racing, we went out last week to Bryan Head, and we went snowboarding. And Scarlett 100%, her whole heart, realized she is not a snowboarder. She gave it everything she got.
She did. She went on the bigger hill with you to give it a shot.
Yeah, I had to convince her to go down the it was like the next step up from the bunny hill, and she went down it on her butt the whole way. She got down on the bottom. She said, "I am done. Snowboarding is not for me. I'd rather ride horses."
Yeah.
But she knew, right? Yeah. Like there wasn't any, all right, maybe I'll try tomorrow. It was 100%. I don't like falling. I'm not going to get this.
She was like, "Yep, nope, not for me." Absolutely.
If she was crying, I would have thought that she's just being a
sissy.
But she wasn't, but she knew, 100% snowboarding is not for her.
Yeah.
And now she knows that all those little boys out there trying to date her, she does not like snowboarding.
Don't take her on a snow date. Yeah. Or to the snow, period.
You will waste your money.
That's so funny.
But you have to have those experiences in order for you to know.
And the other thing too about work is creating a work ethic when you know what you want to do. And most of us know, we just don't believe in our dream because society has told us, things are just too wild. Or, if you wanted to be like Anthony Bourdain and travel the world eating food, like, why can't you do that if you're a foodie person? Anybody can. I was talking to my daughter about, and I talk to her about this stuff all the time. Like, what makes the difference between, like Josie is this old school barrel racer, but she's like Miss Queen barrel racer, Fallon Taylor, and then a couple of other names in the business. And I'm like, why do they have names? What makes them so different? Because there's incredible barrel racers out there. It's work ethic, it's consistency, it's determination, and it's that on repeat over and over and over. And working hard to people is hustle, and that hustle game of I don't know, go work and be the CEO of a company and make millions and all this stuff. But
most of the people use the term hustle, they're not doing that.
I know that's your pet peeve, Instagrammer, stupid person. But
they're fucking working in Las Vegas hospitality industry, and they're like, out on my hustle. Shut the fuck up, guy. Dude, you're just handing out flyers, getting people to go to a club. That's not a fucking hustle.
Or, well, there's the other ones too. But anyways, not doing what you love is not, that's just a joke. You're just fooling yourself, and you're just grinding yourself. You're not hustling. When you know what you love and it's your passion, you have faith in that. My daughter, she's 14 years old, and every day I ask her, you sure you want to go practice? You sure you want to go out there? You sure you want to take care of these horses? It's not easy. It's every day. It's all the time. She goes, yes. No matter what, her answer is always yes. It's not there's no stutter in it. There's no question. She can be bawling, crying with frustration. And I'm like, do you still want to do this? And she'll say, yes. There's nothing more I want than my horses. And if you asked her to clean her room, she would cry and not want to. She'd be crying because she does not want to clean her room.
Uh, ask her to do the dishes.
She'll cry.
Scarlett,
He can ask her to do the
do the
dishes and she'll
dishes.
cry.
Clean the floor. Do something. Participate in the home life. And she fucking loses it. It's like I kicked her horse.
For else.
But if you're like, hey, Scarlett, you remember feed your horses? And she'll run out there
Yeah.
to go feed her horses.
But she'll say, no, I already did. I already fed them. And actually I'm doing whatever with them and whatever. And she takes care of them. And, she really worked really, really hard. We found this really awesome guy, Jason Palmer, Jay Palmer Performance Horses. If anybody needs help with the reining industry, we don't do reining at all, but he is incredible because he trains racehorses, and he can take any horse and do whatever with them. And I needed help so badly to have someone, not just me, doing all the work. So we sent Bala to get a barrel foundation with this guy, and Scarlett ended up getting lessons from him and learning at his ranch. She stayed and worked with him in the middle of summer. It was like 110, 15 degrees. Like, she was so working so hard. Her face was red and it was white all around her sweet little lips. I brought her lunch and waters and hung out with her, but she hustled. That's hustling. She was getting horses ready and sweating her face off and doing so much hard work. And she was like, I love it. And he was, in exchange, he was paying her, but he was also teaching her true horsemanship in every sense of the word. It was so cool to just be able to sit back and watch someone else do it. Kids learn differently with others than from their parents. And she just took it and ran with it. The girl that'll cry if you ask her to clean her room, but she was out for like 6 hours just working hard. And out of that became a true cooperative horsewoman, ready to work, and her horse was ready to do barrels. So Scarlett, once Bala came home, Bala Busta is our horse. He had gotten, because she would dive into the barrels, and so he was working with her every day and would get her really rounded. And then Scarlett brought her home and worked with her every single day. And then when she came with a hiccup, she would listen to me. I took her to Jason's, and Jason and his wife spent an entire day with her because Scarlett signed herself up one day for a barrel race. She checked with me first. I thought it was going to be in a few months, and it was in like 2 weeks from that day. I was like, oh shit. Okay. Well, let's see what happens. And she just took the ball and ran with it. Cause she, at 14 years old, has ultimate faith in herself. And holy shit, this girl has faith in her horses, all the horses. So much faith in them, 150%. If you can go above 100, she has that in herself, and she knows it. There is not a doubt. If you said, Scarlett, are you going to be the best horsewoman out there? Yeah, of course. What do you mean? Yeah. Like, do you want to? Yes, absolutely. And she loves her horses with all her heart, mind, and spirit, and is creating at such a young age, all from faith. It's so fun to watch, and that's why she is doing so well. She's not coming out the gate trotting. We thought she'd have to trot the pattern and really start to get used to the environment and all this stuff. And her second show, she won $40.
It was good.
Very good. So anywho, I could just talk about horses and Scarlett all day.
Well, I mean, it's a good segue into faith and over fear, because I mean, really, she doesn't have. I mean, and sometimes you're white knuckling it because
Speaking of what,
she doesn't really have any fear. She kind of just gets after it, and which is good.
It's so cool.
If more kids like that, there's a lot of kids out there like that, because I mean, there's tons and tons of kids at these rodeos doing these things, and even me as a firefighter, I mean, I have a bunch of kids that are in between 19 and 25 years old that are career firefighters already, because they were like, hey, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
And and they're there. And academies aren't hard or aren't easy.
Aren't hard. They're super
Yeah,
hard.
they're not hard. They're not easy, right? There's a lot of fire science that goes into it. There's a lot of physical activity that goes into it, and um, it's hard. And you have to have faith in yourself that you're going to be able to get through those things. And even when you're on the department floor, I mean, it's really hard. And then, when you are in the back of an ambulance with a patient, you have to have faith that you know what
Yeah,
you're
just
doing.
faith. You can't sit there and be like, well, oh shit.
Yeah. It's
Well,
like, oh,
oh.
it's real now.
Yeah.
Or, you're on the fire ground
I'm
and
afraid to do the wrong thing. I'm
yeah,
sorry. And
or
then,
you're on the fire ground and, you have to know what you need to do. And if I, as the fire captain, need you to go in the house, run a 2.5 into the house, or, we got
I mean, you
SNR, search and rescue.
can't talk like a firefighter.
I could talk however the fuck I
When
want
everyone's
to.
like, well, Corey's making a good point, and then.
Just saying, you gotta have faith. You can't be
Okay,
scared.
so there was one other, and we can end it on this one if you want, or if you have more to say. But this another Scarlett story. When I first taught her how to ride, uh, she was doing really good. I taught her how to do a one rein stopping if she ever got. I taught the horse how to do it first, and then I taught Scarlett how to do it. It's a good safety thing in case your horse wants to take off with you or whatever. You could just stop him.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, all else fails, just stop her. We're gonna go out on this little trail, and she was doing good. We were just gonna walk anyway. Well, her horse decides, nah, fuck this. I'm going home. So she turns around and starts to gallop home. And Scarlett hadn't even cantered. And it was
Is
not
that the campground?
a true
Yeah.
trail ride, by the way. It was a walk outside the park, basically. And but still she and I turned around and I just looked at my little girl's butt go this high off the horse, and I was like, all right. So I started to lope up to her I thought I was gonna have to pick her up off the ground. And all of a sudden I just saw her legs grip, her butt sits down, she grabs the rein, and she friggin' one rein stops her, and she goes, whoa, and the horse just stops. And she was like, all right. And I was like, what happened? That was amazing. She goes, well, I thought I was going to fall out of my seat. So I decided, no, I'm not going to. And she moved ahead in faith. She believed in herself. She wasn't afraid. If she sat in her fear, she literally would
Yeah.
have fallen down, fallen off the horse, maybe gotten hurt. And I know a lot of people don't agree with my method of madness, but I don't give a shit. This is how we decided we wanted to move forward with
Yeah, but
training.
there was a time in life where that was like the common practice was
Yeah.
like, you want to learn how to swim? Cool. Here's the deep end.
Right.
And
People have been thrown in, and
we're so coddled and we're so entitled for all of these things, and really it means absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Because
you teach them safety tactics, and you teach them a few things and common sense, and God, dude, you gotta live. And had I gotten Scarlett a perfect horse, she would have outgrown it in days, literally.
yeah, well,
days.
you know what they say, calm seas don't make for a good sailor.
No, and she
For a
is.
skilled sailor. Sorry.
Yeah. And she's incredible. She's an incredible rider and horsewoman. And I can't imagine when she's in her 20s, she's going to be something great.
Yeah, because she's got a fucking firecracker for a horse.
Yeah.
And when she gets on like a super bomb-proof, super listen horse, she's going to be bored with it.
Yeah.
And
well, her horse kind of is that way now.
Well, yeah.
Ball is pretty dang bomb-proof now.
But I mean,
they're bonded, and they've got a lot more to learn and do in the barrel world, and it's going to be a lot of fun for them. Got wood chips all over you.
I fucking hit my head and fell today.
Every day in the life of Corey. But anyways, that was just another story in faith, having deep, not Corey falling. Well, he does. He just kind of flies in.
But the short of it is, you need to have faith. You can't dwell in fear. Fear actually makes you sick. There's all the science behind it, cortisol levels, all that thing. Yep. Fear literally makes you sick. This whole last 2 years of people pumping all this fear, to be quite honest, fucking Samantha and I didn't even we weren't sick the entire time.
We didn't engage in any of it.
Nothing. I had maybe one or two colds, but
Yeah.
we haven't been sick at all. And it's because we're like, we don't care. When your mind is very much part of your body, and when your mind gets corrupted, your body is corrupted.
Yeah,
So
and when you listen to people's stories, I was listening to the radio and they were talking about, oh my God, this happened and that happened and this happened and that happened and they were just so they weren't trying to feed fear, but they were talking about it, and every one of them had this fear-based story, and they didn't say anything positive. It was nothing but fear, and I was like, dang, like my stomach, I actually had an upset stomach after listening to them. And I was like, no wonder everyone
yeah,
is lost in such a fear mentality. And we all get colds
it's
and we're
all
all
fucking
gonna,
around us.
yeah. And but you can recover from things and be fine if you take care of yourself. Be healthy, take care of your mind. Too, if you take care of your mind, if you really take care of your mind in the sense of drink your water, take supplements to help with your brain, get proper sleep, do meditation, you're going to want to eat better. Your body will be like, I need fuel, not bullshit. And just naturally you'll lose weight, which, like, what is obesity, the number one um killer, COVID killer?
Yeah,
So,
75%.
like, that's disgusting, and that is because so many fucking American people, but mostly Americans, are just straight up way too fat. And it's ridiculous. It's not about self-love and body image and, oh, you have to be skinny. Bullshit.
Yeah.
You can be thick. There's nothing wrong with being thick. I got thick thighs. My husband loves them.
I
But
saw
there's
there was a meme the other day on Instagram, and I retweeted it a couple times. It said that fat phobia is not real, but heart disease is.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. And you know, have enough faith in yourself to fuel yourself properly, to live properly, and your body will
Yeah,
reflect how you think.
yeah. There's a direct correlation between your habits and your health.
Yeah.
100% direct correlation. There's a lot of research on it. Medical Medium puts out a lot of stuff about that. There's a lot of health gurus that'll facilitate that as well. But it all starts in your brain, in your mind. If you let people make you be afraid to live your life, you're already behind the eight ball.
Yeah. Like, get your shit together, people, for fucking real. Stop letting everybody else's fear and stories and their unhealthy scenario fear you into depression.
And everybody's fear story has to be taken with a grain of salt, because for two reasons. One, they're just seeking attention, and two, they're just seeking attention.
No, some are not seeking attention. Some are sharing something really crappy that happened, but not realizing, okay, why did that happen? What are like
Yeah,
the
but I'm
comorbidities
saying
of things?
they're
And
saying it because they want someone most of the time.
most, not all
And
of them. I'm directly thinking about some people that they're not sharing because they're trying to get attention at all. There's a lot of morons that do that, and screw your stupid story when you're just trying to get attention. But there's some genuine people out there that are, it happened and it's heartbreaking and it's terrible. But what's the other factors in their
yeah,
story? And
so yeah, okay, I get what you're saying. So there is people out there that will tell, they're trying to share a message of, this is what happened to me, but what they're not telling you is how they got that way. And most of the
right,
time, how they got that way is they have a shitty lifestyle, and they were already mentally afraid, so they were going to get sick anyway.
right, right,
I I
right.
I, I
So
I'll stand that.
thanks for the approval, sir. So, you got to take those stories with a grain of salt and be a support to your friends, but don't dive into their shit.
Right.
Like,
You have to take. It's just like when you walk into a store, right? Like you walk into Walmart, you know that fucking place is gross, right? On your way out, you're like, yeah, sure, I'll sanitize, right? Walmart, you sanitize every time you walk out of Walmart. Home Depot, you're like, ah,
Eh.
right?
It ain't that bad.
But like the same thing when somebody tells you their fucking garbage story, they're either trying to share their story or they're trying to get attention. But no matter the reason that they're telling their story, you need to sanitize your mind. You're like, all right,
Yeah,
moving on from that.
completely. And like send them well wishes and, pray for them, but don't jump in their hole. If someone's in a hole, no matter how they got into that hole, they dug themselves in there in some way.
Even
And,
if it's a
and,
significant other or somebody very, very close to you
eh,
or important to you,
yeah,
because that's all
you've
dangerous territory.
pray for them. But look, if you try and pull them out, they'll just pull you in with them. And then what? You both are in the fucking hole? Good job. That
Yeah.
makes no sense to me. It like having compassion for people doesn't mean get in the fucking hole with them.
Yeah.
That serves no
There's
purpose. You're not going to help them in any way if you join the sob party with them.
Yeah, so we watched 1883. It's like a precursor to Yellowstone, and they were at the point where they were crossing a river. The episode's called "The Crossing," and the lead guy, I can't remember his name. He tells
His wife,
Faith
Faith
Hill,
Hill.
no, he tells her, he's like, you need to, unblouse, and she's like, he's telling her, you got to take that dress off. She's like, why? It's like, because that dress will drown you.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, I could swim in it. He goes, no. When people freak out,
They're going to pull you
they're
under.
going to pull you under. And she ended up having to kick somebody away because the freaking chick didn't know how to swim and nearly drowned her.
Yeah. Pull
And
you under.
that is real life. Most people don't know how to swim anymore. I'm not talking about, obviously,
Literally.
talking about literally. I'm talking about
Everybody's out
figuratively,
there
but
drowning, and they're looking for someone that's stable enough. That Faith Hill in the episode was up on her horse.
yeah, and pulled her off her horse.
Yeah.
So she was up, right? She had the high ground. She knew what she was doing. She had all her shit figured out. And then she tried to help this person and pulled her in and
Tried to
fucking
drown
nearly
her.
drowned her.
Yeah.
And she had to push her away, and the chick died, and it was like devastating to her. But that is real life. People will drown you if they don't know what the fuck they are doing, and most of them don't, because for some god awful reason, common sense is no longer taught anywhere in the world. And we have all these fucking bullshit ideas being taught to our kids in schools and on all over the place. And it's dangerous. It's super dangerous, especially when we're trying to unite as a whatever we're doing. I don't know. I don't want to get too political about it, but
You always want to get
I
political.
do. It's just
Digress, though.
I digress. But when it comes to faith over fear, right? You have to have faith, right? And you can't be afraid, because if you are afraid, you will not only take yourself down, you will take down everyone around you.
Yep.
Because
right,
if you being afraid means you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
right. And right now we're all, in a sense, on the battlefield, and I'm not gonna fucking help somebody else over my family. So you're gonna be what, going to everyone's house, and figuratively speaking, in a sense, you want to go to everyone else's house and energy and finances and ask them for fucking help. You're not gonna get it.
No.
Like you got to rise up on your own and be a complementary energy and person and frequency to all those around you, so we can all work together. Because those of you that are just slithering away on fear and all this garbage that's been fed to everybody, like, we don't ingest that shit. If it comes from a certain group of sources, we say, okay, let's do the opposite, and it works really well.
100% of the time works every time.
Yes. In that scenario, it for sure
100%.
does. But anywho, yeah. So get your shit together.
Yeah.
Have some faith.
Have some faith. I'll have a lot of faith.
Get all the faith.
You can never have too much. That's why I wanted to do another episode.
Like yeah, for sure. We could talk about this forever because it's so much fun, and that's why we have these shirts and hats, because we want to share that message everywhere we go. And people comment all the time like, "Oh, I love I love that concept or whatever they say, and they get it right away. They know, oh yeah, you think like we do. And it's
Yeah.
like, sweet.
It's a
We,
very big flag.
yeah, yeah. There is a flag on it. You
Yeah.
can't see it. But but that's why we made the shirts. It was definitely not, oh, let's make a cool brand. It's like that's our lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's what we want to share with people, and we want people to wear the shirts and share with others like, hey, we live in faith. Let's all live in faith. And when you live in faith, you just start aligning and things start working out well, and life starts to take on a better meaning, and it doesn't matter what the fuck is going on out there, and you start to recognize the lies without, you don't have to do research. You don't have to do all this research and be like, oh, is this true or not? Like, there's one thing that's ultimately true, and it sounds corny, but love is the only thing that truly fuels this planet. And when you have that love that is accompanied with faith and living this ultimate desire to live and be happy, oh my God, nothing will stop you. Nothing will stop you. And there is something that's being created right now that's more beautiful than anything this planet has ever seen. It's a complete rebirth and destroying of all the corrupt garbage, like in every sense.
Yeah.
That this earth doesn't want anymore. And we're not going to put up with it. The people aren't, Mother Earth isn't. It's a new way of being. And the way that those of us that are going to survive and thrive, because we don't believe in just mediocre surviving, we believe in true thriving. That way is through living in faith. And do, when you do get to that level, then we're all in this together. When we're on the level of faith, we run together. Yeah. We protect each other. We provide for each other as a family, as a unit. So that's what our message going forward. Who knows? Maybe we'll have a Faith Over Fear part 3.
For sure.
Just keep it going.
We'll just change the podcast to Faith Over Fear.
I know. And that's all we'll talk about. What the fuck? Why not? So anywho, what we at? We good?
We got like 8 minutes to spare.
Oh shoot.
Let's not fill it though.
No, we're not. We're good.
If you liked it, pay it forward, share it, comment, do all the things.
Get you a shirt. Get you a shirt.
FaithOverFearArmy.com.
We're out of sweatshirts, but if there's enough requests for sweatshirts, we'd love to restock them. So,
yeah. So
let us know. Or
that's
any
all
colors.
We got.
All right. Peace out.
Peace out.